Hi, Barb. You are on Recovery Talk, and my name is Will. Obviously, you know me. I'm your husband. And today we are interviewing Miss Barbara Singleton about her life and the struggle she's had with her two boys. Hi, Barb.
Hi, Will.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
I know you hated doing this, but I'm glad you're going to do this for me. What I wanted to do was have you kind of encourage other people, especially other mothers who are struggling with their children, just to let them know that they're not alone. Can you tell me about the boys?
Well, I have two sons, Jeremy and Bo. Jeremy's the oldest, he's 26, and Bo is 22. They have had a very difficult childhood in the sense of trying to cash checks that were not theirs and cash them at the grocery store, stealing money from the teacher in class and handing it out to the other students, and then on to maybe doing drugs with Jeremy, and Bo doing domestic violence, and they've been in and out of jail for probably the past 5 years.
What can you pinpoint, or can you? Is there any point where you started to see them start to go downhill?
I would say actually it was the poor choices they made in their girlfriends and how they've been able to turn to drinking. And
So was it at an early age? Was it later on in life? I mean, was it middle school? When was it? When do you think?
Actually, Bo started his behavior in elementary school when he stole from the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeremy actually stole our lot rent money and was going to run to Walmart and spend $100 bill.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just seemed to get worse and worse as they got older.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, I see a lot of parents, struggle with different situations like this. And, I know you personally that you are a very invested mother. And since no parents, know the absolute perfect way to handle situations, what would you tell parents to do that you could have done if you could go back in time? What would you do differently?
I actually think that I should have been more strict with them and not allowed them to play the guilt trick on me because their fathers weren't around.
Oh, okay. So they were really good at manipulating you.
Yes, they were very good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Looking now into today, sorry, my tongue is all tied up. Looking at things today, how do you stay motivated instead of discouraged?
Well, I believe in my boys no matter what decisions they made. I always believe and have hope that they can turn things around because I know deep down who my boys are and who they should be.
Mm-hmm. Despite some of the choices they've
Yes.
made repeatedly.
I totally have hope in them.
Okay. How has their choices affected you personally?
Well, it's obviously depressed me to no end. I've been angry. I just wanted to lose hope a lot of times, but I believe God has given me a lot of strength to make it through these difficult times.
Mm-hmm. So what do you do for yourself? I mean, during because you're kind of in a waiting period because they're not the men that you want them to be or believe them to be yet. So right now we're just kind of waiting. What do you do?
I just pray for them and I visit them and try to encourage them and give them, positive thoughts about, you can be a better person,
So you just literally never give up?
Never.
Have you had to change some different ways just in having a relationship with them? I mean, what do you do differently?
I don't know if I do anything differently, but I just try to make them understand that I am here for them no matter what, because I believe and I have hope.
How do you address the guilt? I mean, did they just stop using guilt on you, or did you what?
No, actually, I have been working very hard for the past like 3 years and not allowing them to manipulate me anymore. Um, it's been hard.
Yeah, that's got to be
It's
tough.
been very hard.
Yeah, because you love them so much, and you want to believe them, and I know a lot of parents go through this. No one wants to believe that their little baby boy or girl is taking advantage of them.
Yes.
And the reality is that they love us. It's just that, well, they're like, in some ways very immature. They want what they want, and I don't think they realize the damage they're doing to their parents. But I think that it's the parents' responsibility to say no. I mean, that's why they call it parenting.
Yes.
Not just for their sake, but for our sake. Because if we continue to allow them to burn us, we eventually become burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the danger. So you still visit them every week, and you call them, and you send them letters. And do you think that your ability to still be able to do that is because you've backed off a little bit and not tried to do everything for them?
Yes, I definitely have done a lot of that. And I know that it is starting to sink in with my oldest son.
Mm-hmm.
He has realized how his choices affected my life and your life, of course, and he's finally ready, I believe, in my heart, and have hope that things are going to change this time when he gets out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I still believe in both of them too. It's I think sometimes it's a little bit easier for the men to pull back than for the mothers. I think that's just the way we're kind of genetically designed. But it doesn't mean that we don't care just as much. How are their biological fathers involved or not involved?
Well, Jeremy's father is pretty much involved. I mean, as much as he can be, being, many hours away. He does try to come visit him, and Jeremy gets to call him sometimes and talk, and his dad tries to encourage him. Bo, his father, is not too much involved.
Mm-hmm. How do you think that's affected the boys?
I think their fathers not being in their lives has really probably been a big part of why they've made the choices they have, because they haven't had that
role model, kind of.
Yes.
Yeah. They're I just am finding out more and more how valuable the roles of both the mother and father are in our children's lives. Just for the simple fact of just an example. Mm-hmm. I look at little Jaden, our grandson, and how much he still misses his father, who has been in jail most of his life, and looks forward to seeing him when they get to go visit. And it never ceases to amaze me, that connection, that biological, spiritual connection between a parent and their children, and vice versa. Sometimes they just want their mommy and daddy. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just an important message that you're giving for people out there who are struggling, that you may have to back off, but you don't have to give up.
Right.
Thank you so much, Miss Singleton.
Thank you. You're welcome.